I just wanted to ask you right away. I mean, the Wonder Woman, after the first film, it could have gone in any sort of direction, and you decided to place it in the 80s. What was the reason for that? And can you talk maybe also about your personal relation to the 80s itself?
Yeah. So when we talked about making a second film, the most important thing to me is that if we were going to do it, we had to be aiming to just make a great brand new film. So I didn't want it to feel like more of the same or something where it's just a lesser version of the first. So what more opposite to define yourself from 1917 and the bleakness of that war than the height of opulence of the 80s. So I loved the idea of colliding her with villains that would spring forth from that. And also Diana, like Wonder Woman, had a hit show on in the late 70s and 80s. And so that's the Linda Carter show is what inspired me to love the character. So it felt like such a wonderful thing to see our Wonder Woman in that same period.
I mean, one of the big surprises is the return of Chris Pine's Steve Trevor. Was that something that you already thought about while working on the first film, or did that develop afterwards?
It developed because of the story. So when I thought of the story first, and then as we started to break the story, it actually came from that. So it was while we were making the first movie that we realized Steve would be back.
The opening sequence with the Amazon Olympics, I really loved it. I was asking myself, how hard was it to get that sort of flow and rhythm of the action right?
Incredibly hard. Every detail of something like that is so laborious. Like there's not one thing that happens there that is an accident. The only thing that's unexpected is how amazing Lily Espel is, because she did all of these things for real. So you have all these fail safes for how you're going to make it an exciting sequence if you can't strap your tiny child actress up on top of a 30-foot pole. But no, there she wanted to get up on the pole and do it, and she loves it. And so she's just a phenomenon.
Now, one of the other highlights in the film is, I think, Kristen Wiig as Cheetah. Now, there are very different incarnations of that character in the comics and itself. But what was your take on her, and how did you develop that version of her in the film?
Yeah, I was so excited to do Cheetah. I think she's such a great character, but I loved the idea of not just having like a sassy, sexy woman facing off with Diana. I wasn't into that. I loved the idea of making it more interesting by having it be someone who's your friend. They start out as your friend, and then you watch that slow growth towards becoming a bad person, which, happens. And so she just formed herself up as that version, which I was really into.
Yeah. Now the film is coming out in the cinemas and also on HBO Max. There have been a lot of discussions in the past week about that, but what's your personal stance on that, and how happy are you that you can release it on both platforms, actually?
In this film only, for this film only, I thought it was a great idea. Right? Because we've been waiting for a long time. We can't just keep pushing this movie forever, and the world can't go without new movies forever. So when I heard the idea for our film, I have to admit, I was so excited, because at some point you have to pick your priorities. And my biggest priority is communion with mankind. That's why I like the cinema experience. But at this time, there is a different kind of communion available, which is reaching everybody in this holiday season with something that might bring joy or hope. And so that just felt so perfect, and just felt like something I really wanted to do. The other films, I don't think, I don't like the idea of making it as a model and deciding that so far in advance when the theaters may very well be open. I personally will go back to making theatrical only movies immediately after this, but I'm excited about this version.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Patty. And
Awesome.
I wish you really good luck with the film.
Thank you. Thank you so much.